Hey y'all, how are you doing? I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. It's me, Kim, and I'm back for another video. So today we're going to talk about a really stupid thing that I read over the weekend. I subscribe to the Wall Street Journal, which is kind of a right-leaning publication, but they have really good reporting, and I love to read about business and finance and economics and all that. And I will say that by far the worst part of WSJ are the op-eds. They are consistently so poorly written, poorly edited, poorly thought out. And the worst part is that the people who write these op-eds are usually really rich and influential people, and usually they're in politics. So I read this op-ed by a man named Douglas McKinnon over the weekend, and it's called, I want to get it right, it's called Mrs. Obama, Here's a Chance to Go High. I already knew it was going to be some bullshit. So in this op-ed, Douglas says, last week, in apparent response to President Trump's Go Back controversy involving Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley, Mrs. Obama tweeted, "What truly makes our country great is its diversity. I've seen that beauty in so many ways over the years. Whether we are born here or seek refuge here, there's a place for us all. We must remember it's not my America or your America, it's our America." She's right. So why doesn't Mrs. Obama say a word in defense of First Lady Melania Trump? Excuse me? First of all, how do we even get there? Okay. So McKinnon is talking about the fact that Michelle Obama, after another one of the president's ridiculously racist and xenophobic Twitter rants, she used her platform to say, that's not right, okay? But what McKinnon is actually mad about is in an interview on some podcast, Anna Wintour, the noted fashion editor, she's been editor of Vogue for, 25 years, 30 years, a super long time. And I think she might even be head of content at Condé Nast. I'm not sure, but super high up in the magazine world. And Anna Wintour almost never does press. It's really crazy. But she did this podcast interview, and the interviewer asked her about Melania Trump.
I think it's important for Vogue to support women who are leading change in this country.
I'm interested in looking at, there is something so visual about the Trumps, his sort of ill-fitting suits and the strange trousers and red baseball cap, almost deliberately off-trend, not interested in some ways in presenting himself in other than, as you perhaps refer to, a way that might echo with a base. Melania put together a much more put together way. She did come to the UK and I think very consciously wanted to see herself as an ambassador for British fashion in this case, or a transatlantic ambassador. I mean, do you value that, and or would you just rather kind of stay away from the Trumps?
I think, First Lady Michelle Obama really was so incredible, and in every decision she made about fashion, she supported young American designers. She supported designers indeed from all over the world. She was the best ambassador that this country could possibly have, if in many ways, obviously way beyond.
But she's not the First Lady now. So what about the one that you've got now?
And to me, she is the example that I admire.
And Anna Wintour basically was like, girl, we're not talking about her. And she immediately redirected the conversation to how much she loves and admires First Lady Michelle Obama, and not only her intellect, but her incredible sense of style, her fashion sense. That's what Douglas is mad about. That's what this man wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal about. But let's keep going. He said, "What an opportunity for Mrs. Obama to show that she meant what she tweeted about diversity. Does she see its beauty in Mrs. Trump? Can the former First Lady overlook her feelings toward President Trump to give much deserved credit to the current First Lady, a woman who came from a tough background, carved out a place for herself in a highly competitive and unforgiving industry, and learned to speak 6 languages along the way?" This is one of the most absurd and poorly constructed arguments I have ever read. If you are confused about what McKinnon was trying to say here and how he connected those dots, you're not alone. It makes no sense. It already makes no sense to try to compare Donald Trump's xenophobia and his attempts to demean and cage and criminalize non-white people in the United States, to Anna Wintour making some kind of mean, like not even mean, just like petty and like kind of shady comments about the First Lady. Those are not equal. What are you doing? Secondly, Michelle Obama has shown enormous restraint and not speaking negatively about Melania Trump. It's not just the president who Michelle Obama has right to have beef with. Melania absolutely stood right next to Donald Trump as he was unabashedly spreading that birther lie. And not only that, but there is video of her going on some talk show, I think it might have been Joy Behar's show, and saying, well, I can produce my birth certificate and I wasn't born here. Why shouldn't he produce his birth certificate?
Do you want to see President Obama birth certificate or not?
I've seen it.
It's not a birth certificate.
Well, it's a certificate of live birth,
right,
which they give. But Melania, that if he insists on what he's saying, then no one in Hawaii can ever run for president because they all get the same live birth certificate.
Well, but they need to have.
Midler is finished, for example.
They need to have, and in one way, it will be very easy if President Obama just show it, and because it's not only Donald who wants to see it. It's American people who voted for him and who didn't vote for him. They want to see that.
But it's on display in Chicago. We've seen it on the internet. We've seen it. It's not the same as yours, but it's a certificate of live birth.
Well, we feel it's different than, birth certificate.
So she didn't just stand by. She actively participated in it. And not to mention that we remember when Melania just blatantly ripped off one of Michelle Obama's speeches and never acknowledged it. No acknowledgement, no apology, just went on with her life like nothing happened. If you've read Becoming, which apparently everybody has, according to her publisher, it's the best-selling memoir of all time. That's crazy. But if you've read that book, then you know that Mrs. Obama makes it very clear that she will never fuck with Donald Trump ever again. She feels like Donald Trump, in doubling down on this ridiculous story, on using it as an opportunity to prop himself up and eventually launch his political career, that he put her family's life at stake. There are crazy people out here. So why on earth would you expect her to come out here and say, oh no, everybody be nice to Melania? And another ridiculous thing about the op-ed is, it is wild to me how much conservatives give Melania Trump and how little they give Michelle Obama. This man was in the Wall Street Journal talking about how Melania did so much in such a difficult career. And it's like, this woman was a D-list, if that, model. She happened to make it to the United States because she is conventionally attractive. But like, she wasn't no Giselle. What are y'all even talking about? And maybe she speaks 6 languages. We wouldn't know because she routinely hides from the public for weeks at a time. What are y'all saying? If Michelle Obama had the kind of career that Melania Trump had, Barack Obama would still be a state senator in Illinois. The idea that we are supposed to admire this woman for what? For managing to marry a rich man 30 years older than she is? For finessing the system and getting green cards for her whole family? Stop it. You guys need to stop it. It is crazy to me that when I looked in those comments, conservatives are still mad at Michelle Obama for encouraging children to eat fruits and vegetables. Get out and walk for a few minutes a day, like encouraging your children to go to college, be your best selves. Like, they're really upset about that. I have many political critiques of Michelle Obama. I think that the milquetoast language of America is about diversity just doesn't go far enough. But I really don't have a problem with when they go low, we go high. And in fact, this man who is criticizing Michelle Obama should be very thankful that that is her MO, because not saying anything is what's best for Melania Trump. Another reason why conservatives hate Michelle Obama is because the warmth that translates in her public appearances, the way that she carries herself, makes her beloved, not only in the United States, but across the world. I don't know if you've seen these polls, but everywhere people love Michelle Obama. People love this woman, and it makes conservatives mad. And not only that, but I've lived through 3 presidencies. This is my 4th one. And I've never heard of a former first lady being called to run defense. Is that the analogy? You know, I don't really know anything about sports. But I've never heard of a former first lady being asked to protect and defend somebody who is currently in the White House. I can't recall. Maybe that's happened. I don't know, but I don't think it's ever happened. So why should we expect the black lady who is rich, famous, influential, well-dressed, out here living her best life, why should we expect her to take on a burden that no other former first lady has had to take on? Because we know it would be fake. Michelle Obama is not Mother Teresa, and that's why people like her so much. It really has been refreshing to see her come out as a public persona and just be the cool auntie. Are we allowed to call people aunties? We are, right? Just be like the cool auntie who's just real and honest and relatively down to earth, considering all of the stuff that surrounds her. At this point, y'all are just making up stuff to be mad about. This woman is not doing anything but selling millions upon millions of books and minding her black ass business. There is no reason to expect her to do anything different. If Michelle Obama took it upon herself to decry every single person who loves her and dislikes Melania Trump, that would be all she would be doing all day, every day. I've seen Melania Trump call herself the most bullied person in the world.
I could say I'm the most bullied person on the world.
And like, girl, I don't know, maybe she is. But frankly, if you choose to stand beside an unrepentant bully, a bully with the loudest microphone on the planet, you're probably gonna catch some strays when people fire back. That's your choice. That is not Michelle Obama's problem. Generally, I'm with Michelle Obama on the going high thing. I think that really helps me preserve a lot of my energy, and I only use that pent up, dragging energy on bullies. See the video that I did on the Kardashians? But you are out of your mind if you think that I'm ever going to lift a finger for a terrible person. You've lost it. People are always trying to tell me that I needlessly infuse race into everything, but that's probably because racism basically touches everything around us. And you are absolutely disturbed if you don't realize that the deep-seated anger, the resentment that so many conservatives feel toward Barack and Michelle Obama is because of racism. Not only do we sense it, but that's shown up empirically in the way that people talk about the Obamas. These are well-educated, responsible, respectable people. They have conducted themselves impeccably in the spotlight, but it will never be good enough. It will never be good enough if you expect the black folks to do 3 times as much as you would ask of a white person. Yes, it certainly feels racial when you expect the black woman to take on all of this extra work when there is no precedent for it. And the person you're mad at is not even Michelle Obama. You're mad at Anna Wintour. Why not write an op-ed about Anna Wintour if you think she behaves so poorly? You're just looking for a reason to scapegoat the rich, fancy black woman. We see you. Well, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Head on over to the Patreon. I did 2 live streams over the weekend, and if you missed either of those, they are no longer public. Those videos are over on Patreon, so head on over there and sign up. Thanks to all of the Patreon supporters. I appreciate you enormously. It just is crazy, the little community that we're building over there. Leave a comment, send me a DM on Instagram or Twitter, buy some merch, sign up for the email newsletter. I will see you next time. Bye.